guess what? We've got GORESH and SKOLGUL in the actual game now. And you know what? I'm going to give you my first impressions. That is it. My first impressions. Is these guys going to be worthy or not? We'll soon see. We're going to go over both heroes really quickly in their basically skills. So you know what the skills are, how you want to invest into these heroes, and then the hero and pairings really quickly what I am going to be using and we're going to be testing with. So let's do this. New Season 2 Plus heroes, new Infantry heroes, are they worth it? Hello, yes, smash a like, comment and subscribe for more daily videos of me, MrSneakyy, an official Call of Dragons content creator. And we were fortunate enough, if you've watched the Wheel of Destiny video, we will put a little comment above here where you can click on something hopefully and you should be able to just watch it, which was a really fun video. But we did get lucky and we managed to get SKOLGUL and GORESH, and that was the really good one because we got the strongest Lord hero. So we can actually work on this hero with our actual generational tokens and we don't have to worry about earning on him on that area or buying him with daily deals. So it's really cool that we've got him. And you're probably wondering, are these guys worth it? And that is the real question. Are they worth it? So I'm going to go over GORESH first because I think GORESH is going to be a really good example of what we're going to look at for maybe a really good investment for infantry players. Because GORESH, in my opinion, actually comes across like the actual Rise of Kingdoms Saladin for those free-to-play, low-to-spenders gamers. And you'll know what we mean as soon as we go over it. Because when we look at GORESH, the actual skills that you guys care about are only the first 3 skills in the actual area. And the reason is because the 4th skill is to do with Stronghold and City Garrison, which you guys obviously ain't going to be doing if you are a free-to-play or low-spender player. As well, on top, the Awakening, and this is where the very big similarity with Saladin and GORESH lies, where the actual Awakening isn't that much of a buff. You're only gaining 10% extra attack and 5% extra resistance on that damage taken, which does sound massive for the whale players, but for the average Joe, this is not worthy of your tokens. And because of that, this is actually going to be a crazy one because I am going to recommend for most players to actually go for GORESH if you can get him. Because GORESH is surprisingly insanely good in my first opinions when we go over his skills, and I'll explain why. Because his first skill here is a 6-second duration, as you can see, with a big damage taken reduction of 15%, as well as a 50% attack bonus, which is insane. Because what we have here is basically some heroes. We have a 20% only bonus from Madeline and a Goward effect, which is 20% damage taken reduction. So they've taken both of these style of effects and actually put them onto one hero, and they're really good. The 50% attack is going to be insane, and that 15% damage taken reduction is going to be so powerful too, depending on who you match up with this hero. And it gets better because his second skill is 20% counter-attack damage, which is nuts, man. The amount of damage you're going to be dealing, and more importantly, 15% infantry unit defense bonus, which is really good because the defense bonus means you're actually taking reduced damage from magical and physical sources at the same time. So you are actually making your unit really tanky and surprisingly dishing out a ton of counter attack damage. And that's where the last skill kind of falls in with, because the last skill that you would get is a 200 damage factor to 5 surrounding legions, right? Which is obviously crazy enough. We know it obviously has a 15% reduce in damage taken, like all area of effect skills kind of have. But then this effect can be triggered up to 2 times per second, which I think is terrifying, because if you run this in and he gets swarmed and you get some nasty AoE going, guess what? This is going to get some absolute value out of it. So that's why we like Goresh, and straight away, if you're looking for an investment, you can go 5-5-1-1, you're good to go, you're starting to cook. But what I would advise most free-to-play players is, honestly, and it sounds crazy, only 3-star him. Because if you 3-star him, you're only going to get access to these free skills, and you can max them out at any given point after, obviously, you've maxed the first skill, which is making sense, right? Just makes sense. So just do it that way. It means you can max out these 2 skills, and then if you really wanted to, you can 4th skill just to showcase you have him 5-5-1, and you can dab to all the haters out there, right? And when we go to SKOLGUL, SKOLGUL is the actual crazy one, because I'm not gonna lie, I really do like SKOLGUL as well as a infantry hero, because she actually has 4 relevant abilities, which might sound crazy, and basically an additional passive, which is basically 5 abilities in one hero. And it's crazy. It is absolute crazy, because her first skill and her second skill together is so nasty, because you get a 15% HP bonus here, plus that Blood Fury trigger, where you basically get more damage with every counterattack damage. It's crazy. So Legion deals additional counterattack damage every second to all legions at close range when they launch a normal attack. So this basically is just, I don't know how crazy it's going to go off, but the amount of damage this is going to dish out is absurd, because you have 15% extra HP, meaning your units can actually take more hits. They can basically, instead of taking 1 hit, they might be able to take 2 hits, which is really, really cool. With extra defense, it's just like a match made in heaven. As well, if you just go 5-5 and 1-1 on this hero, you're going to get another 10% extra HP and now 20% extra attack, which is beautiful with this hero. It does everything that you want with a infantry based hero with just 2 skills. 2 skills, 5-5-1-1, you're good to go. And if you want, and like I'm going to advise, if you're going to be an infantry main player, she is probably going to be your second awakened hero that you're going to go for. Because you do get this really cool little effect here where you are gaining additional march speed every time you trigger that rampage effect where you slow down a target. But then you get also 1% attack every time, and this gets increased when you launch a counter attack, which is what you're all about, which is amazing. And then the last little bit, it's not, I'm not gonna lie, it's not massive, it's not crazy, but it's actually just nice. It's just nice to have a little bit of healing in the kit. It just gives you that tiny little bit of like sustain in this little bit of like a berserk style build. But then, which is more crazy, is when you do finally awaken SKOLGUL, you're gonna get infantry deals 10% more counterattack damage on top, which is just insane. You're just getting more stats for free by just awakening the hero. And that's why I think she's gonna be actually one of the second infantry heroes that you might awaken if you are an infantry main player. And because of that, and we've gone over now the reasoning on the investments now, hopefully, Goresh, you know you're going to 5-5-1 and leave. And then with SKOLGUL, you're going to do 5-5-1-1, or you're going to awaken her over time, and you're going to be good to go either way. You're probably wondering, what are your pairings, right? Because we've gone over the skills, are they worth it? They definitely are going to be worth it. I'm not going to lie, guys. I think these heroes are exceptionally good, especially when you pair them with what I am going to be doing this season. And honestly, as you can imagine, I'm going to do straight away Garwood with Goresh. This is going to be insane. And I've been using this, and it sounds silly, but I have been using this in Dragon Trials. And I'm not going to lie, I take no damage and things just die around me. It's not even funny about this combo, because you're gonna have a Garwood that's gonna give you a massive amount of damage taken reduction with the resistance and the healing. And then that's for 4 seconds. That timer goes down. It loses it by 2 seconds. Guess what? You're going to be gaining this resistance effect again now for 6 seconds. And because this is a 6-second buff, this is actually going to override the game. So you are going to hopefully have this buff on for longer. So you're going to gain this damage taken reduction buff. And that's how it feels like in the game right now. And you take literally no damage. And by doing that then, you're going to get all this physical attack, which is really good. Because again, this goes with Garwood, who gains basically all this physical attack damage dealt bonus whenever he heals himself, which is great. You can also, and I'm going to suggest it, Garwood with SKOLGUL. This seems really good too, because again, SKOLGUL is going to heal. So if SKOLGUL's healing you, even if it's a small amount, that small amount with that Garwood is again triggering this extra physical damage dealt bonus, which means you are very, very tanky and you're dealing considerable amount of physical damage in normal and counter attack damage, which is what your main job is. Your main job is to tank damage and basically dish out almost like reflective based damage as a infantry hero currently in the meta. But then we've still not talked about Madeline, and I am at the moment doing Madeline and SKOLGUL, as you can imagine. I really like this combo, it's really good. It basically, Madeline and SKOLGUL almost for me acts as like a very, very bad healer replacement for Garwood. But in return, we're gaining basically 15% HP, another 10% HP, and with Madeline now, Madeline gives us another 15% HP. So you can see the amount of infantry HP you have now is insane. And what that allows you to do with Madeline and the SKOLGUL match is, because you have so much infantry HP now, you can actually go into something like your artifact and run your Grey Mars Warhammer, or even like your Fang of Ashikari, because this is going to give you now a massive amount of Legion defense, which is going to scale even better with the more HP you actually have as a just passive, which is crazy indeed. And this match is perfect because again, if you are more of a bigger spender, you've got a hero here which has 5 abilities basically that you are all going to be using in PvP, with another hero with all 5 abilities that are all PvP. So you're basically maximizing the amount of presence of passives, unique skills on the open field with one match. Do I think it's the best one? Who knows? I actually don't know. I'm not going to say which one's going to be the best matches yet. We're going to experiment. I'm going to play infantry more in this season. And one thing we're going to consider too, which is a little bit of a spicy one, is if you do have something like a SKOLGUL here, which has obviously maxed out, or maybe even your GORESH at 5551, guess what? Nika might be something that we're going to talk about, because she does again have some crazy stats, and it's this counter attack damage bonus. So this might be a more of a DPS based infantry match compared to the other matches, which are more like a bruiser, which is the way I am going to say it. If you do a Madeline and GORESH, or Madeline SKOLGUL, or Garwood primary with the SKOLGUL or GORESH in the back, those are bruiser style matches where you can take some really good damage, but you can actually deal a considerable amount of damage too, which is really, really cool. Obviously, we still have Madeline, Garwood. That's going to be your go-to full tank build at the moment until we get proven otherwise what is a better one. But those are them, man. Those are the 2 new heroes. First impressions, we've got them. I've got them both 5-1, as you can see, and I've been honestly loving them. I've actually been loving them, and it might turn me slowly, and it sounds crazy, into an infantry main if I can possibly get the new Artifact 2 in the future to go with this style of gameplay, which would put icing on the cake if you have access to it, just as a heads up, right? But today's video is mainly on these 2 new heroes. Are they worth it? I'll let you guys to decide. For me, I honestly think they both are, especially GORESH being a 555 one hero investment and you're good. You don't even need to do anything. You could even leave him at 555 3 stars and just level him up to level 60. You're good. You don't have to worry about it. You're good. Because you don't care about this and you don't care about this. So you can save your stars for another hero as a, you know, a nice little tip. And SKOLGUL will be the one that you work on as an actual proper investment because she wants to be awakened similar to your Madeline, right? So pretty simple. So are they worth it? I'll leave it up to you guys. Like you said, I've made my arguments for you, and if you've enjoyed the video and you found it educational and informative, smash like, comment and subscribe, guys. We're here every single day giving you Call of Dragons content here on the channel. My name is MrSneakyy, an official Call of Dragons content creator, and with all of that, stay safe, stay sneaky, and I'll see you in the future.